People that come to these programs are individuals who are searching. People come from all over the world to Virginia or now to Europe here in Spain because they've got this inner knowing that they need to find out more about what life is all about. I mean, there are groups that work with corporations to do problem solving and things like that also. Especially in Focus 12, they have increased access to information that they know about. And one of the exercises in the program actually teaches us to access information even if you're in the middle of a business meeting. You know, you can sort of connect discreetly and get information from these other levels of ourselves that have more knowledge than we usually have at our, fingertips every day. Yeah. Also, the executives find that it's extremely good for enhancing creativity. One of the classes that I trained at the Monroe Institute in Virginia, a company, a nanotechnology company, sent 5 of their top executives to the Gateway course. And they were not particularly happy to be there. They couldn't quite understand what the use of this was going to be. And so as the week moved on, there were a number of really interesting experiences. One of the men had lost his brother and actually got in touch with his brother in a very emotional, moving kind of experience that really shook him right to the bone. And he was extremely impressed with this. But one of the other ones was kind of on the last day said, well, it was okay, I don't know. And one of his friends said, well, what did you do? And he said, well, the only thing I did was write 26 patents. And his colleagues all looked at him and said, you did what? You wrote 26 patents in 1 week?
Incredible.
And he said, well, yeah, I guess that is pretty much, isn't it? Now, it's amazing. And one of the other executives who was there was really impressed because she suddenly remembered how she used to create things with glass and went home all determined to go back and sort of reconnect with that hobby that she loved so much, because somehow she had sort of gotten in touch with that during the week. So every experience is so individual. You just really never know what can happen. A PhD thesis on the effects of the Gateway Voyage. And it was quite fascinating because they did it, with quite a number of people. Most of them had at least one very, very powerful experience. And they found that when they went home that they felt more satisfied with their life. They felt happier. They felt more interested in helping humanity. They felt more present in their own life. One of them said it was like somebody turned up the volume on my life, like I'm really living it. And for each person, that is a very personal evolution. The Monroe Institute doesn't have any dogmas or any belief systems that they want to try to sell you. The idea of Monroe was to give you the tools to be able to do the exploration for yourself. And so one of the curious things at the Monroe Institute is what we call the trainer nod, because as trainers or as facilitators, we don't try to give you any answers ever. Our usual reaction would be to tell you, well, maybe that would be something you would like to explore in our next exercise. The idea is to make this work for you with your belief systems, which may change along the way as they did for Monroe and as they did for me, certainly also. But not because anybody tells you that it's supposed to be this way.
I noticed one thing. People have a tendency to have a one-time experience of this kind, and then they have another experience of another kind, but they never work on the same track for a long period of time. Do you think that the Monroe Institute's programs can help people get back to the same place or the same experience?
Well, you see, this is something that they talk about a lot in meditation also, that when we have one of these experiences, we want to get back to that and maybe repeat it because it was really magnificent. And they always encourage you not to try to do that because it can keep you stuck in the same place. But what the technology of the Monroe Institute does do is give you or facilitate that your brain gets into the same state of consciousness. And so you can have a similar kind of experience, but it may be a deeper kind of experience or have a different kind of insights that you receive, but from that same state of consciousness.
If the other side, if it's okay, I use that term, if they want to work with us, we have to be able to return to them.
So in that sense, we can easily get into the state of consciousness where we connected with them.
Right.
And there are a number of people who do exactly that. Monroe was one of them. He had a number of good friends on the other side that he would sort of get into a state or go out of body to a specific marker kind of place that he had set up in the ether someplace, and that was like a meeting place to sort of attract you there, and often would meet up with his friends.
Are you familiar with Rosalind McKnight?
Oh, yes, of course.
They wrote this book together.
Yes.
And it came out in 1998. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, that one I believe is called Cosmic Journeys. She has another one out now. But Rosalind was one of Monroe's explorers. Back in the beginning, he wanted to see if this sound could actually help other people get into the same states and have the same kind of experiences that he had had. And so he had a number of friends or people that he called explorers who would come anonymously. They didn't know each other on purpose so that they couldn't contaminate each other's experiences. They would come and listen to the sounds and report their experiences. And Rosalind she's very, very psychic and open. She's a lovely lady, and she still continues to come to the Institute to the guidelines class and lead some exercises. And she had some incredible experiences. One of the most outstanding ones we call the Patrick event, where she was in a very special state of consciousness, and the guides who would meet with her every week, kind of just like what you're saying, this week they said, well, Rosalind has been doing a fast, and she's in a very special state, so we would like to do a special experience different from what we've been working on so far. Of course, Monroe was quite intrigued. Of course, they're saying this through Rosalind, who's now in, a deep state of relaxation. And they're saying that they want to bring through a soul who needs assistance. They assured him that there was no danger and they would